Well, good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome everyone to the first meeting of our Yukon Charter Review Committee. This is a special meeting, and it's May 30th, 2024, 7 p.m. in the City Council Chambers of Centennial Building, 12 South Fish Street. My name is Jason Bill. I'm the assistant to the city manager, and I'm going to go through the first part of the agenda, and then once we elect a chairman, then the chairman will take over the meeting and call for the different items. And then I will serve as, if you're used to a city council meeting, as the city clerk, so I'll do the roll call when the chairman is ready. And then this is Roger Reinhardt, our city attorney. So we'll go and start with roll call. Josh Roper.
Here.
Ken Smith.
Here.
Jerry Shelton.
Here.
Chris Townsend.
Here.
Justin Ellis.
Here.
Okay, item number 1 is information only. So again, welcome. We appreciate everybody taking their time and volunteering to review the charter and help make any suggestions or anything to the city council. So the role of the Charter Review Committee is to serve as a recommending body to the Yukon City Council regarding any proposed changes to the city charter. So once we elect a chairman, like I said, they'll take over the meeting and they'll actually lead any future meetings as well. In your informational packet before you this evening, we have a few different items. The first is just the ordinance, which council passed last week, forming the committee. The second item is a proposed timeline. It's been requested that, if there are any changes, that it gets on the November ballot where the most people come to vote. So that timeline reflects all the steps it would take to be on the general election ballot. There's also requests, any that we've received to date from city council or city staff, some to look at. Doesn't mean you have to act upon them, but they would like to at least research those requests for some changes to the charter. And then there's also, of course, tonight's agenda, and the main piece is the full copy of the current charter. That is, so I've printed you off one, I've emailed you one, and it's also available online, so a few different avenues. And then Roger, and he'll speak about this in a little bit, from the Oklahoma Municipal League, a really good informational piece regarding what can and can't go in the charter and some highlights and things like that. So, so just a few things to think about this evening. This evening we're going to really just try to set a path, some assignments and things like that we can have a clear way to review and come back to the committee with some suggestions. So it'll be the committee's discretion on how you would like to organize the review process. It has been recommended that each member, for example, takes a request or two off that list and does some researching. And then once you do that, we can draft language or anything that you may want to present to this committee. And that's what myself and Roger and the rest of the city staff are here. If you have a change that you'd like to propose or make, and you'd like our help in researching how other cities, maybe if they have certain language in their charter, that's what we're here to help is, if you give us kind of a direction, what you'd like, then we can help fine tune that in any way you'd like. If you'd like examples of other charters of nearby cities or anything like that to go off of, just let me know and we can get those as well. So we're here to kind of serve as a guide and help with any way you'd like to. So. And then, of course, Roger's going to be the main guy that makes sure that any language we do come up with is researched and doesn't have any conflicts and meets all the legal requirements that we may need. So again, tonight we will elect a chairman, and that person will run the meeting once we do that. When it is time to vote, I'll call your name, and all you have to do is, just an affirmative, a yay, a nay, no, yes, anything like that, or you can also abstain anytime. Please note that I think Gary talked to you that if your microphone's on green, it's live, it's going on, over the air being recorded. And if it's not, then we can't, your vote won't be actually recorded out loud, so. Okay, that's all I have for item 1. Does anybody have any questions on that so far? Okay. Item 2 is the timeline. And as you can see, I put together the timeline, and it includes, if you would like to, it includes tonight and then in between having some meetings. And then this is based on the recommendation of the mayor that if we have a first draft on July 2nd to present and recommend to the city council, then that gives a little bit of time to make any changes if we need to meet again. And then July 16th, for example, could be where the city council accepts your final recommendations. August 6th, they could approve a resolution calling for election and approving the ballot language. And then August 21st, calling for the election. So it is due 75 days ahead of the general election, so that's about August 25th. So if the recommendation comes through and council chooses that they would need to have it done by that last meeting in August to get to the election board and be on the general election. Anything past there then would be moved most likely into January, February for a special election. So, and that's again, if the board has changes and recommendations. Okay, so now we'll move to item 3, which is going to be very important, and that is to consider a motion to accept nominations for the position of chairman and elect a chairman. So do we have any nominations on the floor for chairman?
I'm sorry, gentlemen, I don't know any of you. except Jerry, I mean.
I nominate Jerry, Chairman.
I second it.
Okay. Okay, let's call a roll call. This will be for Jerry Shelton to be chairman. Smith,
Yay.
Roper,
Yay.
Ellis,
Yes.
Shelton,
Yes.
Townsend.
Yes.
Okay. Jerry, I believe you've been mayor before.
Yeah.
So this should be back in the old seat again. So we actually have 2 ex-mayors on the board. So,
Looks
all right,
familiar.
Jerry, I will turn it over to you. And again, any questions anytime throughout the evening that you need to turn over here and ask myself or Roger, we're ready. And then we do have item 5. We do have a spot for public input. So, all right, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, I think everybody got a copy of the recommendations from staff and from the council. Everybody have a chance to look over those?
Yes.
Yes.
Can we vote on any of those tonight?
I think it might be premature until you have a chance to review it, since you're just now forming. It's just my thought on that.
Okay. There's 2 obvious ones, I think. The 2 first ones are fairly obvious. Gender terms, which are outdated in the old charter, refers to only he, him, and so we need to, both genders in there. And an address the freeholder name.
Right.
Now,
That's a carryover from way back that's in many municipal charters.
Right. So unless there's an objection, I'd like to vote on those 2 unless we need some citizen input, or they're pretty basic. I guess we can explain them if you'd like to. Let me pull those up.
If I might.
Yeah.
Maybe premature for this motion, but I think under recommendation from the city attorney, it's kind of already been said that this might be premature to vote.
Well,
We haven't had opportunity to
Okay.
discuss or consider, I think, might be premature.
Okay.
Well, you could certainly give me direction to come back to you with some proposed language for how that would read, if you'd like to do that.
I would like to give you that proposed language for what was already recommended in those first two items. Again, it's just gender identification, because back in the day, this assumed every elected official is gonna be he. Well, we know that's not true. So we're gonna change that to he or she, because there are females that are gonna be hopefully involved from now on. No gender confusion, just two genders, so. Also, we're going to, the freeholder, it kind of now brings up a bad connotation of what the word means, which back then it was just basically people that were allowed to vote.
That's
No,
correct.
actually, back then it was white landowners,
White landowners, which were the only ones allowed to vote.
white male landowners to be
Yes.
specific.
So that, yeah, that should have been changed a long time ago. Any objection to referring that to the attorneys?
For language, that'd be great.
And then
If
we'll-
that's a motion, I'd second it. We're not being premature here.
No,
I propose that we do, refer it to the attorney.
and there's a second, so then they'll need to vote on that. To vote on referring it to me, and then I'll bring language back at the next time we meet. So,
Okay, who made the motion? It was
Jerry.
Jerry. And then who's second? Kim.
Kim.
Okay. All right, and this is for items A and B to start with correcting the language to present back a draft at the next meeting. Okay, we'll do roll call. Shelton,
Yes?
Roper,
Yes.
Townsend,
Yes.
Smith,
Yeah.
Ellis.
Yes. Okay, are there any questions or discussion about the handouts we received from the city council and city staff?
I've got a question. This is only over subject items that our intention is to go to vote in August. Meeting, committee chair, city council meeting by July? Is there any, I guess my bigger question, is there anything else over that this committee can ask the city council to review before coming to council?
It's my understanding, yes, we can review the entire charter.
You're not limited by the recommendations here. This is just a small.
Yeah, just the recommendations so far from council and staff, so. And I encourage, that's what I was gonna say tonight before we leave is, I know it's kind of boring, but read the charter, cause, you know, I've already made some notes on there that I wanna maybe ask about, and we can work through as a committee, but, you know, it's an old document, so there's a lot of things that could be brought up. I think the last time may have been when I was mayor on the council that we actually did a review, but it's been a long time, so.
It was adopted in 1959. It's been amended a few times throughout, certainly when you went to wards and those kinds of things. But yeah, it's probably a good time to review.
So yes, we can, and we do, as far as meetings coming up, Mr. Townsend's gonna be out of town next week.
So am I.
Huh?
So am I.
Oh, good. That cuts down the the time, the Thursdays we have to work. Is there any other night that would be good, if we have to squeeze one in?
Well, do we have to meet?
Yes, sir.
So, Mr. Chairman, I've got a few dates that we definitely can't do. Tuesdays in this room are going to be out because we have court or city council, one or the other, and they're either going to be at this time or court can definitely carry over. So, and then the first and second Mondays in this building are also reserved by another board and commission.
Do you want it to be in this room? Are we obligated to Open Meetings Act, and does it have to be open to the public?
Yes, so it does have to be open to the public, correct?
That's correct.
So the reason to do it in this room is to broadcast it. and to be able to record it. And so this will go out so the public that can't be here tonight can also review and see what's going on.
And if I might, every public meeting is subject to the Open Meetings Act.
That's correct.
But if it's a committee that was just appointed by council members, why would it be obligated to Open Meetings Act anyway?
City business.
Yeah, the Open Meetings Act applies to subcommittees of a public body, and so, and
Is that in the charter?
That's
no,
the state
that's
law.
that's a state statute.
What about Wednesdays? I know it's church night, and I don't want to interfere with anybody's church, but we may have to have another meeting or two to get the in, because next week might not be so productive if we only got 3 members here.
If all 3 show up, or able to show up, then you'll have a quorum, but
Yeah,
no one can see.
I'd hate to move forward without all the input from everybody. That's what I'm saying. Now, go ahead.
I'm out of town until the 13th, so the
Which, the 13th is a Wednesday,
Wednesday, yeah.
so that still would leave us open for the 14th, which would be
Let me look
Thursday
at the
then.
calendar.
Well,
I come back on the 12th, so I'll be available on the 13th,
Right.
which is a Thursday.
the way I see it right now, we can meet June 6th, 13th, 20th, 27th. Those are Thursdays.
So
But 6th, you'll be gone and you'll be gone.
Right,
You'll be back on the 13th?
I will be back on the 13th.
Okay, so
I'll be back on the 11th.
that'll give us 3 meetings, basically, but we're not gonna meet July 4th.
We can call special meeting though.
Yeah, I understand. But how, would you guys be objective to Wednesdays, if we could fit one Wednesday in?
No objection.
No.
No objection.
Any input from the citizens about a Wednesday meeting? I don't want to exclude anybody. Okay, we'll look at that for the future and bring that up. But right now, I would like to set the meetings for, what did I say, 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th?
So I will say on the 6th, the city staff, we have an event. So Roger, myself, Mitch,
Well, 2 of us will also be gone at that time.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. All right, 13th, 20th, 27th. And then possibly have to have another meeting somewhere in between there. Is that acceptable?
And would that be at the same time at 7 p.m.?
7 p.m.
Okay.
Repeat the first date.
13th of June.
Oh,
13th,
13th of June. Okay, thank you.
yeah, 13th, 20th, and 27th of June. And being as how it doesn't have to go to the council until the final draft on the 16th, we may be able to squeeze something in that, if in case we need to do that. Yes. Okay, do we have any public input? Yes, sir. State your name, please.
Nick Gerba, 932 Majestic Street. And I just have, we didn't get, the public did not get copies of the staff recommendations. Is that possible that we might be able to get what you're going to be mulling over in the next couple of weeks?
Sure.
Okay. And also, I just thank everybody for, stepping up, volunteering to help Yukon kind of get to the next step. And the one recommendation I have, as I was looking through the charter, and it is pretty thin, is a code of conduct. I thought would be a fantastic addition. And when I was looking through different cities, I went to the city of Guthrie, and they've got a code of conduct for their elected officials that I thought was pretty comprehensive, and I think it'd make a great addition. So I'd like that to be considered
Nick,
if
I
possible.
100% agree. If you recall, I tried to get that done. Couldn't even get a second.
Well, I think we got some momentum now, so hopefully
I hope so.
it'll work out.
I hope so.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Mike Burris, 300 East Platte Drive.
What's your name
Just
again?
Mike Burris,
Mike.
300 East Platte Drive. And I'm really just, there's a couple of issues. One of them is private property rights. We're pretty focused on that in general, but there's about 9 or 10,000 homes in Yukon, and a lot of people have chosen to make this their home. So I think that I would ask this committee to kind of focus on their rights and, you know, and kind of protect them and their interests. And, you know, we tend to sometimes not so much look at them like I feel like we should. Also, one other issue is it's kind of the in thing right now to talk about term limits for elected officials. I understand the value of that, but if the citizens of Yukon find somebody that is good at what they're doing, is providing the kind of leadership we want from either our council or this committee or really any other committee, I kind of hate to exclude them because they've served before or they've served for a certain length of time. Just a thought. I'm not sure I've got an answer. I've more got a question. So if you guys could look at something like that and look at how we impose term limits and are we really achieving what we want with those? So, thanks, guys.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
As far as property rights, what are you
Well, what I
referring
mean-
to or concerned about?
In my mind, what I'm talking, I've been kind of a single issue guy here for a while now, and I've dealt with issues on Airbnbs.
Okay.
I understand the value of providing property rights to whoever buys property here in Yukon, but the single biggest group of individuals in Yukon are residents,
Yes, sir.
just regular folk. And they're actually the single biggest group of voters. They're the single biggest group in pretty much anything you go to in Yukon. So while I appreciate the property rights of all, and it'd be great if we could always protect everybody's, be they a business or an individual. There's more residents, more individuals who make this place their home than anything else. So I would hope that we kind of put them at a priority.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Okay, I guess we can, I want to kind of address what I think we ought to be looking at in the way we conduct ourselves is I want as much input as we can get from the public. I know a lot of them have never read the charter and maybe never will, but if there's some concerns that are legitimate, love to hear them. I don't want this committee to get into other things other than the review of the charter, which sometimes when you have a committee, people come up and complain about something else. Well, we're going to keep it straight down the middle. We're going to review the charter and address any changes we think might be made or the input that we have from the public to consider. So I think we can make this a smooth committee. We can make it go fast, no 2 and 3 hour meetings. I don't think we need that. We may have to do 2 or 3 hour study sessions by ourselves, but so that is my hope, and I hope everybody could agree with that. So if there's no other, is there any other discussion, gentlemen?
No.
Mr. Roper? Ken?
No, sir.
Justin?
No, sir.
All right, I guess we can adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Oh, never, excuse me.
Mr. Chairman, if any of the board members have anything that they would like to, you all have my email, so if there's anything that you would like to have ready for the next meeting, if you want us to, something on this list, find some more information out, you'll just email me, and then between Roger, myself, and the city manager, we can make sure that we have that ready for the 13th.
You're also welcome to reach out to me as well.
Thank you.
So we need a motion to adjourn. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
You can do a roll call. You can do a
Yeah,
voice,
roll
voice
call.
vote on adjourn. All
Votes
those in
for it.
favor.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
we're adjourned.